I hope the mics are working. It is so hot here right now. I wish there was AC. It is hot inside, it is hot outside. I do have a fan in the room, but I can't have the noise. So I have to endure some heat. Tengo mucho calor. Tengo mucho calor? Or hay mucho calor? Anyway, I am in Medellin since the last time I did one of these. And if you haven't seen one of these before, this is me talking to the camera, to my computer. And for 1 hour, I have no plan usually. Maybe I would have some idea what I'm going to talk about if I can't think about anything. But it's just a practice of sharing things from my heart, kind of like improv. But I, again, my self expression challenge that has been kind of going on for this entire year has been to say everything that I want to say without filtering myself, without doing another take. Whatever I have to say as of this moment is true because it is coming from me. So it's a practice that I've been doing with in every aspect of my life, starting with business, starting with some business to social media, talking on camera, sharing whatever I share in terms of what I write, in terms of what I say, and also in terms of my movement practice, expressing myself. That is what I want to do with my intuitive movement practice. Um, and it's a realization that I think this realization for me why I like to move this way, or why I decided to even get into yoga, and whatever path led me to where I am today. Um, I think there. I remember when I was a child. No matter what was going on, like I have these instances in my mind where I would close the door and sometimes I would shut the lights and I would just start dancing. And it has been always it has always been there for me, dancing in my bedroom. Wherever I could be on my own. I also have these memories of taking long trips from Srinagar to Delhi. And sometimes, as kids, you fall asleep in the back and music would be playing in the car. And I would imagine in my mind moving my body. Like I would feel so free in my body, even though I couldn't really express myself very freely. Um, and as soon as I could let it out in whatever way it came out in the way of doing sports. I played hockey. I also went for national games in 8th grade with my cousin. It was like we were representing Jammu and Kashmir and did 1 month training in Jammu or Haryana, somewhere. I think maybe in two places. But oh my God, I have always been playing. Hockey has been my game, which of course after college I haven't played. But one way or the other, it would show up. And when I found yoga, it stayed because my body was like, this is what we were looking for. We wanted to move our bodies this way. We wanted to feel this stretch. Whatever was wanting to come out, yoga allowed me to do that. I think I have this tendency in life. Okay, here's the thing. I like to do things in extremes. And I think ever since I've been a kid, if I'm, for example, studying a topic, I would study one para and something in that para would catch my eye. And I can't move on. I can't go to the next para. I need to figure out what that means. Then I will go and search what that means. And something in there would take me somewhere else. And something in there would take me somewhere else. And by the time I'm kind of like 10 steps ahead, it has been an hour. And that article hasn't even been started. I'm just on first para. And that is how I would study for my exams. And most of the time, I would just go on these random explorations and come back and realize, oh shit, I have an exam in an hour. I need to then quickly go over everything else. But somehow I did very well in exams. Like I was a state topper and all. Like I'm not going to brag, but I've been a very good student all my life. um, but again, I think the way we learn, at least for me, I like to just go very deep, extreme. So I do this with other things in my life too. So when I found yoga, I had to go deep. Some yoga, somehow I went to anatomy, biomechanics, learning all about the body, took trainings from physiotherapists because, like, what business do I have? I studied computer science. I was working in tech. Suddenly I'm like, you know what? I want to take trainings in yoga. And it's insane. It's not like I planned any of the 5 years that happened after. I just I had this intuition, like, I don't know, do this. And somehow I'm really good. I have been really good all my life, I would say, in following that voice, even if I don't know what it says. And I think that is the thing. It may look like from outside that I got it all figured out. It's just I'm really good at saying yes to myself and not knowing what the answer is, where it's going to lead to, but figuring it out along the way. And that's why I allow myself to go to the extremes. And then I learn a lot in that process, like in other cases too. And then I'm like, oh, okay, got to do something else. And I think that is very important. Like, you do need to use up all your resources to figure out, is this the right thing for you or not? Anyway, some yoga, went to strength training, body, was thinking maybe I need to do another bachelor's or something in physiotherapy at some point. I did a lot of yoga trainings. Then I got so deep into this world in just a year that I started realizing, oh my God, this is like someone is saying do this, someone is saying do that. And then and because I have this, or I used to have this black and white thinking, like either something is good or bad. Okay, no, this is bad, this is good. And someone coming from outside of this world, I feel like especially people who go into yoga are out from this outside world, it can get really overwhelming. So I kind of developed a hatred towards calling myself a yoga teacher. Like, no, like it's like too much information. I don't know what is the right thing or the wrong thing to do at that point. So I went into different interests. Then pole came. I didn't stick with pole, but I did enjoy. I think through pole, I found modern dance and I found freestyle, and that has kind of evolved into what I do today. But yeah, I kind of followed different explorations, found some flow trainings, found about spinal waves. So if you go back to my post from 2020, I have a flexible hypermobile back. What that means is my low back is more bendy. Did that mean that my upper back had the same flexibility? No, because when you're hypermobile in one joint, you're hypermobile in another. So it goes back and forth. There's usually less flexibility in thoracic spine anyway for most of us because of our daily lives and the way we live our lives and spend our days in this life. But for hypermobile people, it can be even more. So what that means is while my lower back could do a lot, my upper back wasn't really participating. So by finding spinal waves, I actually learned how to move everything in equally. Like if I'm moving this forward, I'm moving this back, and my lower back is also doing the same. So it's like it's a team. The whole spine is working as a team and sharing all the load, all the 33 bones, rather than putting all the load on lumbar disc, which of course is, what happens as you age. And yeah, you can't really avoid it if something's happening. But when you overuse a bone, a joint again and again, there is wear and tear. So you want to make sure you're sharing the load. So I found spinal waves, and suddenly the back pain I used to have by doing those extreme yoga poses, not honoring my body, not listening to what my body was trying to tell me, like, hey, it hurts. And it's not the kind of hurt like no pain, no gain. It's the kind of hurt that something is going, there were other things as well going on in my life. Hence the exit from tech in Canada. But it's kind of combined. And by actually honoring my body's, first of all, health, what do I need to do to make sure that I always take care of it? I started listening to my body more. And now, as I'm, after everything, in short, after all of these years, so many things have happened, I want to have a movement practice that can stay with me for the rest of my life. I know time is precious. If you really think about it day to day, we don't really have a lot of time to do a lot of things. And I'm the kind of person who wants to do a lot of things. So I need to be very careful with choosing where I invest my time in. And also need downtime. I can't always be doing. I'll just go into the same trap as the last few years. And I want to figure out how to how to also do nothing. Nothing, I want to be very mindful of being productive all the time. Um, and sometimes I want to read books, watch movies, do something that has nothing to do with, or go on a random exploration, go for a walk. So have that balance of do and being. It's very important. And that is what I actually wanted to share about. How do I maintain that balance of being and do, and how I use my Notion bullet journal to do that. But I feel like some other conversation took over this journal entry. So yeah, I want a moment practice that can stay with me for a long time. And because time is limited, I want to be very mindful of where I spend my time. Sometimes I want to do things for fun, but especially with movement, that's something I have enjoyed all my life. And I don't even have to force it. I just have to get up and start dancing. I can use it to learn more about myself. And by being creative, by expressing myself freely in my movement practice, what can I learn that I can apply in different parts of my life? So the way I'm talking about how to move freely in your movement practice, when you learn it, of course, it's not just like, okay, I play a song and I ask you, okay, start dancing. That's like, I'm giving you too many options, and your brain would be like, oh, okay, what do we do? Which direction do we go in? Like, there's so many infinite possibilities, and you will freak out. So there are prompts, there are ways, there are tools to start to train your brain to pick something and play around with it, pick something else, and be within your comfort zone, create a box, learn that skill, learn how to get into that comfort zone, and then figure out how to challenge yourself. How do you like to be creative? What kind of challenge are you really seeking right now? What is it that you need right now? Um, I'll explain this more in detail in the future. But in short, there is a way by which we can train our brain on how to move our bodies without without freezing, without being like, I don't know, I have too many options. It's so overwhelming. And the more you start to trust yourself, the more you start to trust that wherever your body is taking you is the right place to go. Like, it doesn't have to look a certain way. What is my purpose with this exploration that I'm going on? And the more you trust yourself in movement, oh my God, Chikas, it will ripple down to all other areas of your life. And this is why, yes, I said I would kill random moments, but I always knew I was not going to kill the concept behind it. I was only going to kill the name and the business and the structures I had built. Like, everything had to come to ashes so I could figure out what my values are. Who am I at the core? What do I want some life? Because if I'm going to do a business, I better enjoy it. I better love it so much because, I got a second chance at life. I am not just going to do something just for the sake of doing. It has to align with something bigger than myself. And also, it has to keep me, now that I have finally learned how to love myself, I want to continue doing that for the rest of my life. And this movement practice, I know, will always bring me back to my body. And every time I come back to my body, it will show in different areas of my life, in my relationship with my work, with nature, with partner, with my friends, community. When I know how to center myself, I can go out and I can be that space for other people. When I know how to fill my cup, I can pour to other people. I also need to give myself so I can give to other people. So yeah, moment practice, the one that I have found that works for me. No, I'm not saying that this is it, do this. This is the only thing out there. It is my unique experience, and that is the only experience that I know to be true of. Because I can understand other people, but this is my truth, my body, my consciousness. This is my truth. So I need to come back to my body more often. Ask: Are we still on the? Are we still on the path? Are we still on the right path? Do we need to change? Do we need to do something? And my movement practice is a great way for me to do that. And if it resonates with other people, if the words I say, the way I move, the way I communicate this practice, if it resonates, and if you think there's something out there for you where you can take these learnings, learn something from your body, learn how to move it, learn to listen to its voice in movement, and then in life, if you feel there is a possibility, then you're welcome to join me on this journey. And as I'm doing my movement practice and learning how to free flow in my movement practice, I'm also learning and applying those concepts on how to free flow in my talking, in my sharing of conversations. And this has changed. This practice that I'm doing, it has shown, I have seen the impact of it in real life outside when I go and talk to people. I am so calm, centered. Everything is coming from deep within me. I am not reacting. I am responding. I'm listening deeply. I'm listening to understand. And it is because I express myself. I allow myself to, through this, through Instagram, through my journal, through whatever, I do that. I follow my inner needs and desires and curiosity. And so when I go and meet other people, I can listen to their thoughts, hold space for their thoughts, their words. I know how to hold space for my emotions now. And it started with holding space for my emotions in movement. And now I know how to hold space for my emotions outside of movement. Then I can go and hold space for other people. I can listen to something that may be stressful to their body, but my nervous system can handle it. And that is the gift. A calm nervous system. A nervous system that responds, that builds its capacity over time. A nervous system that understands that this is what we have to do. This is who we have to become. How do I increase my capacity? How do I increase my bandwidth to be the person who gets that thing done? So we ask ourselves again and again, do I need to calm down? Do I need to relax, rest? Or do I need to get going, do? Do I need to challenge myself? Or do I need to go back a bit? Do I need to do more or do I need to do less? Okay. We will do the being and do some other time. I was planning to do a workshop on this along with the Notion Bullet Journal because I feel it can be really helpful. I am also, because the past 3 months I was reflecting, now is my time of doing. I have being enough, now I got to do. So I'm starting to fill that up, and while filling it up, I'm trying to think about what am I doing so I can share it with other people. So I don't know, maybe it gives you a different way of thinking, or just maybe ask some questions that you may not have thought about and can be helpful. Yeah. All right. Okay. I gotta go. I need to get a SIM card. Oh, did I say that I'm in Medellin and that I did not go back to Toronto? Long story. Some other day. Ciao.